Hi, my name is Liam Hart. I'm a psychology student at Grand Valley State University, and I'm proposing a study on the effect of mindfulness meditation on life satisfaction and self-esteem on retirement home residents. So I'm sure you've heard a little bit about mindfulness at this point. It's gained a lot of popularity in the recent years, especially with the mindfulness meditation apps. But when we're defining it, it's a specific way of thinking. It's generally characterized as the awareness that arises through your attention and non-judgmental awareness to your moment-to-moment experiences in a non-judgmental and accepting way. So the most effective way of cultivating mindfulness is through mindfulness meditation. This is an ancient practice that comes from the teachings of Buddhism, and it generally entails a focus on the breath and an open awareness of your internal and external sensations. So some of the most popular mindfulness-based programs that have been used in clinical applications, research, and are also commercially available is mindfulness-based stress reduction, which is kind of like a generalized treatment for a lot of symptoms like stress, anxiety, chronic pain, and depression. And then we also have mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, which uses kind of the same approach as the former program, but also includes cognitive behavioral therapy techniques to kind of train people to distance themselves from their emotions and kind of gain new perspectives and kind of observe their thoughts in a non-judgmental way. Both of these programs last for 8 weeks, and they have weekly 2.5-hour interventions with 1 full day retreat. So these are some studies relating to life satisfaction and self-esteem. They're in a younger population, just since there aren't many studies in an aging population as of right now. But mindfulness has been associated with higher self-esteem, life satisfaction, optimism, and self-actualization, which are all factors to healthy aging and improving your quality of life. Mindfulness has also been linked to an increased sense of well-being in a large study of 1,000 people, and people with higher mindfulness in this study were also seen to have better coping mechanisms in stressful life experiences. It was also shown to increase life satisfaction in adolescents with suicidal ideation, which if you look at the table here, they found significant results in all 4 variables they measured, which is life satisfaction, life orientation, depression, and suicidal ideation. And just the fact that it can improve suicidal ideation, which is such a serious mental health issue, just shows that it has a lot of, it can see a lot of use in more serious mental issues. So these are some studies on the effect in aging populations. It's been shown to improve anxiety symptoms in retirement home residents, and these gains were kept in a 1-month follow-up, so it shows that there's some longevity to the effects of mindfulness meditation. It's also shown to be effective in reducing depression, worry, anxiety, stress, chronic lower back pain, and even loneliness, which is a very common thing among older adults because whether they're disabled or they just don't get out the house much, it's just a common thing that many of them face and don't know how to cope with. So as we get older and transition into the later years of our life, we're going through a lot of changes, and it may be even harder to control our emotions. That's where mindfulness meditation can come in, because it's been shown that your positive emotions per day have increased with your minutes of meditation per day. So essentially, it's been showing that the more you meditate, the more positive emotions you'll have throughout your day. It's also showed an increase in gray matter density in the brain, specifically in the hippocampal region. And this is important because the hippocampus is the part of the brain that regulates your emotions. And for instance, in depressed people, they have been shown to have smaller hippocampal regions. So now I'm going to be getting into my proposed pilot study. I'm going to be using a pre- and post-test experimental design to test the participants' life satisfaction, self-esteem before and after the intervention. The intervention is going to be 8 weeks long, and it's going to consist of 3 weekly meditation training sessions, and then the participants in the experimental group are also going to be encouraged to meditate daily, and these meditations will be tracked as well. So these sessions are just going to consist of quick 10-minute guided meditations, and I'm going to be using a waitlist control group that will be told that they can receive the intervention at a later date if they so choose. The control group is still going to be taking the pre-test and post-test though. So this study is going to add to the growing research on mindfulness and meditation, specifically in an aging population. As I said before, there's kind of a deficit of studies right now, especially concerning life satisfaction in the aging population. It's also going to assess the effectiveness of a less intensive intervention than the previous programs I talked about, just because they are so long with 2.5-hour weekly sessions and 1 full day retreat. It's often not really realistic for especially older adults in retirement homes to be doing these sort of things. So a quick 10-minute guided meditation is something that anybody can do. The experimental design is also going to give us a cause and effect relationship between mindfulness meditation and these variables. This is important because many mindfulness meditation studies are correlational, so they can't establish a causal claim, but only the associations. And it also has a lot of potential to be implemented into retirement homes, just because it's so simple, convenient, and very accessible for older adults to improve their quality of life. So I want to thank you for listening to me and leave you with this quote of Buddha. And if you have any questions, then let me know.